Okay, YouTube. I've got a 2014 Ford Escape with the 1.6 liter EcoBoost, and it's all-wheel drive. And his block heater wasn't working, so he brought it to Ford, and they tested it, and they determined it was a faulty block heater, and they quoted him 7.6 hours to change it out at Ford ShopRite, which is probably 120, 130 bucks an hour. So he brought it to me, and I said, no way. No way is it 7.5 hours. So I looked it up myself, and yes, the book time is 7.6 hours, and it involves removing the catalytic converter. And in order to get that out, you have to remove the power transfer unit, or the transfer case. I have determined that the block heater can come out the top in a fraction of the time. I'm about an hour and a half in, and I've got the old one out already. So let me show you how. First, just to give you an idea of some of the things I had to pull out of the way. So you can see there's my block heater installed right there. So there's this hose in the way. I pulled this hose off just right here, and I pushed that out of the way. And here's where the transmission cooler is bolted. So that's also. And then there's just a couple coolant lines that go on it. These two right here that I pulled out of the way. So there's everything installed. If I take my light out, put the battery box back in, you can see even with the battery box in, you can still kind of see where the block heater is, but pull a few things out of the way and there's lots of room to work. All the crap has to come out. So the battery box, the battery, pull the air box out, and that top air intake, you got to pull the big cowl off the top here. The big cowl that goes right here, that all has to come off. And then once you get all that stuff off, you can see down in here, and you can actually see, let me turn my light on. There's the block heater right there. So what I've done is I've taken just some of the coolant lines off, and I've taken the transmission cooler right here. That's bolted on right there. And I've just moved that out of the way. So all I've done is drain a little bit of coolant, and you kind of pull some hoses out of the way. And I've got bungee cords holding these hoses out of the way. And there's actually quite a bit of room now. And if you look, there's the catalytic converter right there. And the block heater, let's see if I can get a good shot of it, is right here. Now, it was a bit of a fight to get out because I don't know if you can see that. Let me get my trusty mirror magnet. So there's the hole it goes in right there. That's the frost plug that's been popped out. If you have to pop a frost plug out to put this thing in fresh, and there isn't one in there already, I would say, yeah, you got to take the cat off because there's no way you'll push the frost plug out. But in this case, I'm just replacing it. So there's the hole right there. And you see the one bolt for the catalytic converter is right in front of it there. And it's a real pain in the ass to get it past that. But it does come out. I did it. It's out. You can see it. And now we're going to test it. So here's the old block heater. And I've got my ohm meter. And I'm just checking the 2 pins on it. And I'm showing like 300 mega ohms on it. So the resistance is way too high. This block heater is no good. So the brand new block heater, I'll show you the new one right here. The resistance on the new one is about 36 ohms, and that's what you should see on a block heater to test it. So all I got to do is pop this thing back in the hole and refill maybe a liter of coolant that I lost, put the thing back together, and the guy will get it back in probably 3 hours rather than a whole day that I wasn't looking forward to doing. So okay, and it's installed. One thing to note is the water jacket in the engine block is pretty much sits right there. So this didn't push in all the way, and I thought something was wrong, but then I realized that the keeper was actually hitting the water jacket. So I had to push it in as far as it would go and then start tightening the keeper, and it sucked it in the rest of the way. So I can get a pretty good shot of it now. So there's the block heater installed. You can see there's lots of room to access it once you pull the transmission cooler out of the way. And there's room above the cat right here to reach that bolt. It's a 3/8 bolt head. So I used a little 1/4" drive socket and an extension to get in there. And it was pretty easy otherwise. A lot easier than pulling the cat and the transfer case like Ford would have had to do. Or maybe not. Maybe their techs just do it this way and then charge 7.5 hours for it. I don't know, but I don't work at a dealership. I just do the job. So there it is. If you got to change a block heater on this, it's not as bad as it looks. So there.